Virgins, how are you guys doing? Sorry for the delay on the reading. I tried to upload one that I had done for you guys, but it wasn't working, so I'm doing another one. Right now the moon is at 9.2% illumination in the sign Pisces, headed towards the new moon in Aries on the 28th. New moon, new cycle, you know. So let's see what exactly you're clearing, right? Because when we enter into new cycles, there's a lot of clearing involved. So let's see. First, we're going to focus on who you are and what you need to hear. Above all, right? Golden ratio, beauty, nature, patterns. So the golden ratio stems from the Fibonacci sequence, right? Because the golden ratio is the Fibonacci spiral. The Fibonacci sequence is like the first two numbers of the formula add up to the third. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 5, 8, 5, 8, 13, you know, onward and upward. Yeah, and through like this pattern that we see all throughout nature, it's kind of like, it shows us that we don't really go in circles in life, right? We go in spirals. So, you know, we're not necessarily repeating history, even if we are met with situations that are similar to the past, right? Or that may feel similar. Things inevitably will be a little different, you know? It's more of a fractaling of events, if you will. So, let's see. What do you need to know about that? Prince of Cups. So roles could be reversed, but what it's looking like is like somebody could be coming in, you know, with new feelings, right? When I think of the Prince of Cups, I think of something new, right? Not something that has really developed over time, but Cups is all about emotions, and the Prince is on his way to something, right? He's on his way. So somebody could be coming in, pursuing you romantically, that kind of thing. That's kind of the vibe of the Prince of Cups. There could still be like room to grow as a person too, right? For whomever this is. You could be dealing with a water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that either. So it could just be the energy that they're in. So let's see. What do you need to know about this individual? The Hanged Man. So this person might be looking at limitations right now, kind of like trying to do the bigger picture thinking, where they're like, I want to do this, however, you know, like kind of just looking at the negatives as well as the positives in this situation, right? They might look at you as somebody that they probably are not sure if they're ready for, right? Because you're showing up as a Queen of Wands, whether you're male or female, whether they're male or female, doesn't matter. This is just the energy, right? The Prince of Cups is a pursuer. The Queen of Wands is kind of like the most attractive queen in the entire deck, right? She's loved by many. She has strong influence. She's a great leader, you know, fierce, right? Not afraid to you know, stand her ground on certain things, strong with boundaries. You know, she inspires people. People tend to like want to follow the Queen of Wands, right? She's a trendsetter in that way, right? Like, she starts doing something, and all of a sudden you notice like half the town is doing it. You know, it's like, just kind of her energy, right? It's that kind of magnetism that comes with the Queen of Wands, right? And that could be a little scary for somebody who's not used to somebody of that caliber, right? We have the Ten of Pentacles. They may see you as like, whether you are or not, but they see you as having stability, right? Financial stability, perhaps generational wealth, but they look at you as somebody who's kind of got it all, right? And this person could also be younger than you. So there's that. But yeah, their perspective on you is very like, they're reluctant, they're nervous, they don't know exactly what to do. Well, how do you feel about them, right? Oof. Well, with the Seven of Swords, you might not trust them, right? You might not fully feel like there's somebody that you can rely on or depend on. Perhaps you feel like maybe there is a lot of growing that they need to do, right? With the Lovers in reverse Gemini energy, you might be like, you might be turning this down, right? You might be like, no, this just ain't the thing. Or you're just not really like focused on that whole situation right there. You might not think much about it at all, right? So what are you thinking about? This could even be somebody from your past or something. Somebody that you felt needed to grow or go through, you know, some, because with the Seven of Swords, it's like it represents futility and betrayal, right? Like feeling like this is not really something that's really going anywhere, right? And the Queen of Wands doesn't like just not going anywhere in a connection, you know. It's the Queen of Wands is very intentional, so yeah, Four of Wands in reverse, you could have broken up with this person, or there could have been some kind of a falling out with this person. Things just didn't work out, right? And with the Fool card, it's like you're on to bigger and better ventures here. You know, the Fool is card 0, right? And card 0 represents like, you know, that leap of faith. going in a new direction, going into the unknown, you know, and kind of walking away from the familiar, right? And so if this is somebody, and it feels like it is, like somebody from your past, somebody who's familiar, you may be feeling like, nah, I want something new, right? I want something that's going to give me a different kind of outcome, right? Perhaps you already have your sights on a new connection, if that's the case, or you're just doing your own thing, you know? But yeah, I don't think that you think too much on them, you know, and their focus on your Ten of Pentacles kind of makes you feel also like they might be coming in for your stability, right? Not necessarily because they want to rekindle anything, right? There's a lack of trust here with that Seven of Swords. Yeah, more validation on that front. Okay, so what are you doing then? What is your focus, right? With the Ten of Wands in reverse, tells me, yeah, this is a burden that you've let go of, right? This is something like it weighed you down, it held you up, and you've already processed it. You've already gone through everything, you know, emotionally to get through that situation. With the Five of Wands, you might still feel like conflicted about this person, or there might still be some like underlying conflict with this person. You know, if you're like divorcing or whatever, and it's tis what tis. Yeah, Six of Cups. They're like sitting here being all nostalgic, like thinking about the past and how things once were, and da 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 da. And with the Knight of Cups in reverse, I just, you know, perhaps they know exactly how you feel, right? They're going to be let down, or they're just not going to have the opportunity to get to the point of reaching out to you, right? They're going to see that you're moving on, and if they do reach out, it's going to be like, sorry, dude, but no, pedal like no. Yeah, the Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, somebody trying to come back, right? Six of Swords is leaving, right? And this is somebody trying to come back. I don't like that there's such a heavy focus on this, but if they're heavily focusing on you, this could be why it's coming up in your reading. And like I said, roles could be reversed. You could, you know, very well be in the other side of this, but I'm reading it as I'm seeing it. So yeah. Alright, so what's next for you? Three of Cups in reverse with the Five of Pentacles tells me that perhaps you've been doing some like overindulging, drinking, partying, spending hella money, whatever your vice is. It says, you know, that you're kind of turning that around, right? Probably because you need to be more fiscally responsible, and you're recognizing that. You know, regardless of how others may perceive you, this is how you're perceiving your situation, and you're like, well, you know, now I gotta get serious about the things that I want in life, and I have to kind of cut out the things that are counterproductive, even if they are fun. You got the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. Very good energy coming from this, right? And you know, this is kind of like what we mentioned at the what I mentioned at the beginning of the reading. you know, there's always kind of a release in the beginning of a new cycle. And so I see that there's a lot of releasing, right? And there's a releasing of the lack mindset, right? That goes with that, you know, and in order to fully embody the Queen of Wands energy, male or female, you know, like, you have to, you know, really let go of that lack mindset, you know, that lack mentality that I don't have love, or I don't have money, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. Instead, focus on, like, how do I get that, you know, like, and focus on what you do have and be grateful for that. And when you go into an abundance mindset, that's when you start really getting abundance, you know. Because, yeah, right at the bottom of this Three of Cups in reverse, it says abundance right there, but it's in reverse, right? And then it goes to the Five of Pentacles where it says worry, right? So there could be financial concerns on your end. Yeah, so I think that you're just getting real serious about what you want, and real serious about the direction you're going, and how to get there. This is kind of negative, bro. I don't love it, but I get it, right? There's been some, like, you know, especially if you've been going through, like, some kind of depression or hardships, it's easy to lean on things that aren't great for us. Yeah, like shitty food and drinking a lot. And, you know, I feel like I keep coming back around to that same, like, you know, there are vices that are kind of slowing you down, right? Going back to the hanged man energy. It's holding you up. And it's almost like you walked away from something that was holding you up, and now you've walked right into something else that holds you up, right? With the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is like financial loss, perhaps debt. You know, if you've dealt with court stuff, you know, it could be something of that matter. With the Magus in reverse, though, and the way I'm reading it with this, in context with everything around it, I would say that you're struggling to manifest something. And manifestation has a lot to do with mindset. One way that I've learned that helps me a lot is chanting, right? And I know it sounds fucking crazy, but it does. It helps, you know, when you're reaffirming certain things to yourself, right? So find the affirmations that you really want to focus on for your manifestation. Chant it like 10 times in the morning, in the night, you know, when you're driving, whenever you think about it, just, you know, go back to it. And it, like, helps kind of reprogram yourself to be in the mindset of that's what I'm aspiring for, that's what direction I'm heading, and on an unconscious level you just start kind of working towards that, you know. We have Nine of Swords in reverse. I see, like, the ending of your worries, right? I see the ending of struggling, anxiety, overthinking, you know. I do see that coming to an end, right? With the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, it's kind of weird. It's like a blessing in disguise. Like, you had to lose everything in order to kind of see that you didn't need it, right? That you were, anything you've had before, you could always attain again, right? And and that you're not stuck, right? You're not like planted in one spot. So like you are able to move forward. You're able to get a different job if that job sucks. You're able to leave relationships if they're not fulfilling. You're able to drop friend groups if they're pulling you in a direction you don't want to go. You're able to make changes every day in every moment that will like change the trajectory of your life, and you're recognizing that, right? All right, what else do you need to hear before we close this out? We have the High Priestess. Follow your intuition. Follow your inner knowing. Reconnect with yourself and with your spirituality, if you're a spiritual person, And also, people who say that they're not spiritual, I kind of find it funny because we're not humans having a spiritual experience. We're spirits having a human experience. So everyone is spiritual, ultimately, but it's all, perspective. Some people only see the third dimension, and I feel bad for them. Oh. Nine of Wands in reverse, healing from things that really fucking sucked. Finding your strength again to like overcome certain things, and kind of not falling into the pattern of the victim mindset, right? Because it's easy to be in the victim mindset. It's easy to be like, life happened at me and to me and da-da-da, rather than like taking accountability for the fact that we have fully engaged with every moment of our lives. And there are ways that we could disengage from a lot of things that cause us strife. So a lot of it is on us, right? Accountability is a huge fucking step, no matter who the hell you are, right? Yeah, we have Three of Swords in reverse, going back to that healing energy. And you can't heal while you're in the same situation that's hurting you. So walking away from certain situations that really put you in a bad headspace is key, So let's see what Kali has to say about all this. Dumavati. Certain endings are unavoidable. They are necessary precursors to radical reinvention, like I said. Any disappointment, defeat, or loss and the negative repercussions of such experiences will not limit your future happiness, but are opening up yet unrecognized pathways for fulfillment. Your trust must be unconditional at this time, and later you shall see that everything is worked out for the absolute best. Guya Kali. It is time to realize the true nature of certain life circumstances. Be grateful for what you have learned, but see things for what they are rather than what you wish them to be. You shall be able to recognize, process, and prosper from the truth, and do not need to fear the revelations that are unfolding. And that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you all, and I'll see you later.